My name is Nemanja. I'm coming from Alta Solutions. I'm co-founder of Alta Solutions together with my colleague Nenad. We are a performance digital marketing agency from Belgrade. I'm in e-commerce since 2009. Even I do look a bit older, but that's the life in e-commerce. So my today's topic is what's the secret behind the growth in e-commerce and why it is important. Just a couple of notes before I begin. There are a couple of slides that are more in general. I will go faster through them and focus more on some specific examples. Of course, you will get all the details on your email. So if there is any questions after that, after this session, you feel free to ask. Basically, we had a really intense couple of years behind us in terms of COVID and a couple of last years in terms of recession. And there were a lot of ups and downs. So we see a lot of companies in e-commerce that emerged, but also a lot of them that went down. What we can learn from that things that happened in the past is that adaptability is the key. So we need all of us to monitor the market, to fastly respond to changes and make all of the necessary changes in our complete business. Besides that, we need to diversify in order to migrate the risks to more channels. So let's all of us rethink about expanding the product range, maybe exploring new emerging markets and establishing the partnerships together with some complementary companies from e-commerce. Of course, one of the most important things is customer centricity, which will 100% drives your loyalty. Because if we think about your markets where your e-commerce business is operating, or the e-commerce businesses of your clients are operating, there are always another company, another competitor that is either selling the same goods like you, or if you are some niche player, some small player, if you're selling some custom goods that are not available on the global market, so you're not selling Nikes or Samsungs, there is probably a complementary products that can change for your product. So at the end, the good customer-centric approach with the excellent customer experience in terms of all of the contact points where the customer have the contact with us, and the exceptional service that we are providing to them will make the change at the end. So not necessarily the price, not necessarily only the offer, but more like our approach to our customers. And another thing I want to mention is to monitor your operational costs. So your supply chain needs to be streamlined. Every company needs to invest in automation and technology and to optimize your fulfillment processes. I will give you one example from my experience where I run two different businesses from two different verticals in a span of, let's say, 3 years. Both of them sold the same number of baskets per day. So let's say 100 or 1,000 baskets. For one company, 8 people do all the job. For the another company, over 30 people doing that job in terms of order processing, communication with the customers, communication with the delivery services, with the payment providers, etc. Why that happens? It happens because the company that has the larger staff did not do the point number 2 you're seeing on your screens, and that is invest in automation and technology. So they choose not to invest in automation and technology in terms to save some money and have the nicer P&L at the end of the year or the quarter for their top managers. But what happened in reality in the next couple of months, they build up the number of staff, they increased tremendously their costs, and at the bottom end, they were less efficient, more expensive, and with a really more not so good service as the company that invested in automation and technology. Of course, continuous innovation is essential. We need to embrace new technology. We need to experiment with new business models, and we need to stay ahead of emerging markets. And when we are talking about the emerging markets and what is happening, if we are looking at the last quarter of 2022, if we look in e-commerce sales growth, we can see that it was 22% for our part of the world. But if we are comparing the total FMCG growth and compared to the e-commerce growth, the biggest step made our part of the world. So this is the official Nielsen report, and I believe this is important for everybody that is looking how to expand their market, how to diversify their businesses, to look at the markets that are emerging and that are at their, let's say, beginnings or in a baby step still, because there is a lot of opportunity to grow and improve. If we are observing also the internet users per country in the last year and the e-shoppers per country, we can see that internet users are fluctuating from 65 to 100%. And if we are remove the bottom 5 ones, we will see that that gap is even smaller, so from 82 up to 100%. But on the other hand, if we are looking for the e-shoppers per country, we will see that that fluctuates from 32% up to 94%. And there we can see the opportunities for those emerging markets where maybe businesses can invest and expect some faster growth and return of investments. And those are Serbia, North Macedonia, Romania, Ukraine, Bulgaria, Bosnia, Albania, Montenegro, etc. Maybe one important thing for the country from where we are coming is the internet purchases by the individuals per year. So 2020, 2021, and 2022. So 3 years in a row, we can see with the saturated markets like Netherlands or potentially Denmark or Sweden, that there was ups and downs, and recession is taking its toll on those markets. While in let's say less developed markets, like let's say Bosnia, Bulgaria, and Serbia, we see the steady growth year over year. So this may be some also interesting information for everybody that wants to diversify their businesses. Now we will talk about a bit about the things that were effective in the past and that are sudden failure now, and what is happening now. So at the beginning, we had some generic products that generated enough growth, but now we need to diversify our approach to that kind of strategy, because competition is increased. All of our markets are start opening or already are opened. And consumer expectations went through the roof, especially because of the COVID, because then we find out why the contactless delivery is important, why delivery to the parcel shops or lockers is important. So the customer expectations and needs changed really fast. They are reflecting to the merchants or brands, and then the merchants or brands are trying to find the solution in technology. Of course, there is a big rise of the niche markets, and they are starting to tearing apart some of our revenues or profits. from our current business. And one of the most important things that nobody should take aside is importance of branding and storytelling. What here will be our next steps? So we need to think that the customer needs are changing from day to day, that we are having the generation shifts. We now have the generations that were born on mobile phones and that only use them, and that is totally normal for them to be the whole day on their screens. We need to focus on branding and storytelling, and of course, to deliver unique value propositions. When we are talking about the brand and keeping the brand high on your market or on a new market, we need to understand what is the market maturity. So I will give you one example from these here markets, what's happening, and during the years we were doing the Google ads for a lot of businesses here locally. So we see one strange pattern that some of the brands started to build up their ROAS and to lower down their cost per acquisition for the branded keywords. On the other hand, some of the brands started to build up their ROAS and drop their CPAs on the generic search keywords. Why that happened? At the beginning, the people, when they did not have experience with the merchant or with the brand, they were searching for more generic keywords, like let's say Nike sneakers or Adidas sneakers. But after that, the consumer needs has changed and shifted. So they shifted and started to use Nike basketball sneakers or Adidas basketball sneakers. And what we are seeing now is that the customer is starting to be uh, uh, connected to the brand or to the some specific line in the brand. So customer now are using the search keywords that are more converting, like Nike Air Jordan or sneakers, basketball sneakers or Adidas Boost running sneakers. On the other hand, so we see here the customers that are loyal to the global brand that is the manufacturer of the goods. But on the other hand, when we are talking about, let's say, the servicing, and the good service will always win at the end, no matter the price, we see how the customers are behaving in opposite to the local merchants or brands. So we have the keywords that were leather bags and male jeans. Then in 2018 we have women leather bags and male Levi's jeans. And at the end we have Mona woman leather bags and Fashion Friends male Levi's jeans. What is the main importance for the people that don't know? The first keywords in both of these searches are the local merchants. So because the local merchants keep their service at a high level, the customers over the years stay loyal to them, and they are not even thinking about buying that goods at some other space because they have a good service with the merchant, good delivery time, and they are staying loyal with them. What's the secret in e-commerce growth and why it is important? So we have to focus on data-driven marketing strategies in terms of personalization. So if I am a male and I'm subscribed to your newsletter, I don't want to get uh, emails from you about your female collection. Of course, we need to analyze the customer data so we'll be able to target right people at the right time, and of course to try to lower the marketing cost that is getting really hard and hard day over day. what we should also focus is innovation and advancements. So artificial intelligence is here. We need to embrace it and to use it. We should not be afraid that it will develop some new terminators and we will need all of us Sarah Connor to save our lives. So whoever use it in a proper way and in an ethic way, I believe will be ahead of the competitors in no matter what market. Augmented reality is here, so try to find some of the solutions online that can help you there. Blockchain technology is also developing, as you already know, really fast. And one of the most important things is multi-channel selling. So we cannot focus only on one channel. We need to diversify our business. How we can do it? I believe one of the most important things is to choose the proper technology for your e-commerce. So I believe most of you who have worked or are working with some e-commerce businesses see this kind of the pattern. So you have some website that is selling some goods and you are spending most of your time so at the bottom end of this pyramid about the licenses, patches, upgrades. Then the another part, big part is maintenance and hosting. You're losing there a lot of time. Something has worked, now is not working. It is a really often example when we are using some really robust e-commerce platforms that are either custom built or platform that has all in there in one place, so one big monolith solution. And then we have application support development and at the bottom end in terms of time we are investing in our e-commerce is front end and revenue generating. On the other hand, we have now available a lot of open APIs, SaaS platforms like Shopify or like BigCommerce that are where we pay some monthly license, no matter is it for light version or for enterprise version. All of this stuff that use a lot of our time. So platform maintenance and hosting, application support is on their end. We are not taking care about that. We are thinking about development of the new features that will increase our sales and front end and revenue generating. So how we are approaching to our customers. How important is this subject and why now is the right moment to rethink about your tech stack and your software architecture? We can see from, I believe, yesterday's Deloitte report about exactly this. What I am talking today with you is that big monolith e-commerce architectures are gone. We need to go to the modular and microservicing architectures that are available. Of course, what is the future? It is artificial intelligence and machine learning, virtual reality, social commerce. So everything with a social proof. It is really, really important. And last but not least, a lot of big number of the companies is focusing on the green e-commerce in terms of delivery, packaging, how they operate, etc. And what are today's customer habits? So today we have the omni buyer. He is present on multiple devices, on multiple points. So in our retail stores, on our website, on our social media, and with the development of technology, he can go in our store. And if we have a Google Shopping or some other rating, product rating application on our website, he can easily scan the products and see the ratings and click and buy them. Of course, this applies to the markets where the Google Shopping is working, but this is the needs and the behavior of today's customers. The most important thing for the business owners or the stakeholders, what the growth means. Is it a profit? Is it a revenue? Is it something third? So if we are talking about the revenue, we need to keep, let's say, three main points. How to increase the sales, how to build multi-channel selling, and how to build dynamic pricing. Besides that, if we are talking about the profit, we need to have the proper tools to track our expenses, to streamline our operations that I already talked about, and to utilize with those tools, with those analytical tools, some advanced analytics. One, of course, of the important things is customer lifetime value. So, as mentioned before, we need to invest in our customer service because that will differentiate us from the rest of the market. We need to re-engage with our customers with retargeting via either email or social media or whatever channel we choose. And we need to encourage customers to review our products and to leave us referrals. Uh, why the referrals are important? Let me just get back here because we have some really big experience from the beauty and cosmetics vertical. That is the only vertical in e-commerce besides groceries where you cannot return your goods when they are open. So if you open the bag of chips and or if you open your perfume and use it or some cream for your face, you cannot return it. That's not the case with the TVs. That's not the case with the sofas. That's not the case with the laptops. That's not the case with the shoes or anything else. So that industry or that vertical has really big struggles how to compensate that. So they were sending like testers for their products to all of the customers, but when the new product or the new product line arrives, they don't know what to do. So they implemented a really good strategies with reviews where they enabled not only star reviews, from 1 to 5, rather than they included photo reviews, they included video reviews. Of course, they included some specific questions about their products after sales in terms, is this product good for the, let's say, dry skin, rated 1 to 5? And then the new customer can see the real experiences from the real people about the product. So not only the things that manufacturer wrote in our description, but rather real experiences from the real people. And that helped a lot in this vertical and industry. Of course, how to increase our conversion rates. Our dear colleague Marissa already talked about it, but it is website optimization, offer incentives, and of course, test and evaluate again and again. Customer retention is something that we need to focus also with either loyalty programs, email marketing, or these reviews I just talked about. So the best strategy is to combine all of them, but of course, start with the small steps. When we are talking about the customer retention, we can see here one graph where we maybe need to rethink our online measurements and optimization approach. Because what we often see in advertising is that all known Pareto model, so where we see 20% of investment is generating 80% of revenue, and 80% of investment is only generating 20% of revenue. So if you want to grow, and your growth was steady, you started really nice, and you hit the ceiling. What you can do in that situation is maybe rethink and not only focus on the campaigns that are building you only ROAS, because you are talking to the people who knows your brand and your products. Maybe you should rethink to even invest in cost per acquisition that is above your profit margin, and invest more in the customer, and then keep it with you together with email marketing strategy, retargeting strategy, loyalty, referrals, and reviews. So that may be one of the approaches. Another approach is that we already talked about is using and harnessing the powers of AI and machine learning. These were the Google ads, like let's say until 2.5 years ago. So we have silos for Google search, for YouTube, for discovery, for local campaigns, for display, etc. And none of these campaigns have communicated between each other. That's why Google introduces the Performance Max multi-channel, multi-device campaign that communicates with your customers on the device and on the channel they will convert at the highest rate. So, if for those who are not using Performance Max, my warm advice: start using it, and you will see a lot of really good benefits for you and your e-commerce business. Of course, there you can generate more customer acquisition by bidding more for new customers or the existing customers. So that is something that you should make as a decision on some internal agreements. And there are some cases when relying 100% on AI or machine learning without managing it can bring us really bad results. I will here write a couple of them. So we didn't get or didn't allow the automation, didn't get them proper goals. We supply the Google with poorly optimized feeds with our products. We don't leverage the first-party data. That is really important, especially because what will happen next year with the third-party data will be gone. We will not write the helpful ad components that will help our customers to solve their problem, and there is no reporting by placement or device. There was some, let's say, research from the IBM in 1979 about the self-driving car, and this was their conclusion: a computer can never be held accountable. Therefore, a computer must never make a management decision. That's why I'm talking about using the AI and ML in terms of how they can help us in everyday's operational tasks that we lose, where we lose a lot of our time, we or some of the members of our team, and to focus more on the management decisions and the reporting, and how we can harness some good conclusions from those reports. I'm here also giving you one example of how the proper usage of Performance Max campaigns on Google Ads can bring us, if we are comparing 1 year over 1 year, increase in cost for 24% or 5K of euros, and increase in revenue in over 400,000 euros and 241%. That's about how we can grow. And what are the golden days of e-commerce and gold rush over? So what we should do to keep that golden days here and to harness the most as we can is to boost the brand awareness. I already talked how important it is to work on our brand, how people get stick to our brand if we provide a good service. So it is not only one thing, it is a sequence of multiple things that we need to achieve in order to build it, to enhance our shopping experience of our customers on our website with reviews, with bundles, with recommendations, with live shopping, and for us to have the proper, let's say, data from our reports. Also, we need to focus, as I mentioned before, what happened with the COVID, with to the fast shipping. The speed is matter, logistic management is also matter, automation is matter to reduce the cost of our operations. And adopting to the mobile strategies, this is also one of the research that Deloitte made, and how much people are using which devices over the last 2 decades, 2.5. So we see how everything has shifted from the big screens to maybe podcasts, and maybe it is time to rethink how we can utilize all of that. The future of social media and e-commerce is to provide the customer with engaging content, interactive shopping with the live shopping. We are here seeing it even on our markets. There are good applications that can help us to build that and to listen what you can see on the social media and from the data. The most important thing when we are talking about the growth is to observe these four, let's say, pillars. What is our target market? What are our customer needs? What is our growth strategy? And the most important thing is this gap analysis. So if we can identify on the market where are the gaps, where are the pockets that still needs to be filled in, and if we have the opportunity and tools to fill in there before somebody else can do that, that's the big opportunity to grow. Of course, we need to have our operational readiness in front of us, as already mentioned. So we need to know what to do with our inventory management, order fulfillment, shipping, and of course, last but not least, customer service capabilities. One of the most important things is to build your team and to recruit your skilled professionals, to identify your key roles, and to retain your critical staff. Please take care of your people. They are building your company together with you, and you need to keep them and to live with them in a proper way every day, because you cannot breed antelopes with a herd of goats. That is one of the good sentences I heard recently, and that I keep talking about it day after day. So build your team, of course, test and iterate, test run programs, pilot programs, scale through iterating, establish performance metrics, revenue growth, customer acquisition cost, customer lifetime value, and average order value. And that is something that every e-commerce needs to do on a daily level. We can have some daily reporting, 6 slides either per placement or per products that can help us to build our decision in a proper way. We can have real-time reports that can utilize and to make proper decisions. We can also have some automation and harness all of the benefits of artificial intelligence and machine learning, like giving the all the changes on our, let's say, advertising accounts with rules and scripts in terms of anomaly detectors, flexible budgets, hourly campaign level day parts, etc. And most important thing, data, and more data to be used in a proper way with the proper indicators in order for us to make all of our decisions. And my key takeaway is adapt, or someone other will adapt before you and take your gap in the market. That's all from my side.